Welcome to Kennesaw, Georgia. Matchup in MLS Next Pro, Atlanta United 2 and Huntsville City FC in the Eastern Conference. Hello, family. I'm James Hadnot. Thank you so much for joining us. Atlanta knows what it has to do to stay in the playoff race. They have to win. For Huntsville City, a side that is already out of the playoff race, their head coach, Chris O'Neal, understanding that this is a key moment for his team as well to see the moxie of his young men. And he knows, as a former player as well as a coach for youth, wanting to have his team seize the moment. And for Atlanta, they know that they want to make the playoffs for the first time in their history in MLS Next Pro. And we take a look at those Eastern Conference standings right now. Atlanta currently sitting 13th with 31 points. They could not be eliminated today with just a loss, but a win would go a long way at keeping their playoff chances alive. For Huntsville City, a side that has their third head coach overall this season with O'Neal after the firing of Jack Collison in the interim, of course, moving to O'Neal. And they really are trying to seize this moment, seize this opportunity. For Coach Cook, the head man at Atlanta, he said that he was not happy that his side has lost to Huntsville at home, and that's another reason why this matchup has so much importance. As we continue right along, we take a look at the starting 11 for the home side under Steve Cook. And you see Rodrigo Neri, he's going to be key. 3 goals on the year. He's a true number 9, says his manager, and he provides something in regards to finishing ability as well as a target for the many crosses that Atlanta likes to put into the box. And under him is going to be Nick Firmino, the first teamer who comes down to play with the second team, led the team in goals last year. And Firmino can do a little bit of everything. He can score with the best of them. He also has the ability to find his teammates. And Alan Carlton playing off the left side of Rodrigo Neri. Carlton has really developed a different type of mentality. He's a very pretty player when it comes to possessing the ball, but defensively, his head coach has said that he's really gained what's necessary in the dirty side of the game, the tough part of the game, and have that expectation to see him in that role today. Now let's take a look at the starting 11 for Coach O'Neal. And Huntsville City, they're playing a 4-4-2. Forster Ajago is back in the starting 11. Ajago is such a key piece for Huntsville. He's really come on the scene and thrived. Was signed as a free agent on draft day for Nashville, and all he's done is produce. Ajago on the year, second on the team in goals with 6 behind Johnny Bolaños, who has 7. But Ajago has spent a lot of time with the first team recently because of his pace, because of his finishing ability. And with Bolaños in this lineup along with Ollie Wright, both of those players will be looking to feed Ajago. And also Wubens Haisius, another key player, both him and Ajago at the top of that lineup. So have expectation to see some goals here today, and really excited about the matchup. These two teams have put together some really good matchups earlier this year, and have an expectation to see something similar on the evening. For Coach Cook, the head man at Atlanta United 2, he talks often about the development of his young players, and that's been seen with 11 players from the second team finding time with the first team, whether it be in Open Cup or in MLS regular season action. But also the second part of development is winning, learning how to possess a winning mentality and finishing matches, as well as being prepared for playoff situations, playoff-like matches. And this is exactly what Atlanta finds themselves in today, because a loss really almost completely closes the door to making the playoffs. And although it might be a far cry right now, the noise continues. The noise will completely close down if they were to lose this match to Huntsville, a side that has already found itself outside of playoff contention. So this is where it starts for Atlanta if they want to have any chance of making the postseason. And Coach Cook talked with his boys about that this week, and he mentioned that he didn't want the first time these young players that, of course, have hopes to play at the next level, whether it be with the first team or overseas, to have their first playoff experience be at the Benz with 75,000 people. Wanted it to be right here, right now, and that's why they play here in Kennesaw State, and it's called the Proving Ground. It's where you prove yourself before stepping onto the next stage. And for Huntsville, trying to set a new foundation. There's been a lot of turnover within the entire organization, from the top at Nashville all the way down to Huntsville and the academy. And Coach O'Neill wants to take this opportunity to really set the tone, not only for the rest of this season, but also for next season. Whistle blows and we begin from the Proving Ground in Kennesaw, Georgia. Hibbert has to come get this. Bolaños always a threat down that right side, tends to find himself behind defenses very often. And right there, Bolaños has to be careful as he brings down Alan Carlton. Game plan for Huntsville, they're going to have a clear identity. That's something that Coach O'Neill has brought to this side. That's why they won their first 3 matches when he took over as head coach. And even though they've lost their last 2, that identity has been sound in those matches. And that identity requires them to control the pace of the game with possession and without possession. They want to grind things out, but they also want to play with pace. Chong Ki takes this down for Atlanta. On the flip side for the Five Stripes, Carlton sends this ball over the top. The wind takes it as Gallardo controls. But for the Five Stripes, they also want to dictate possession. They want to find the ball in the wide areas and then send the ball into the box for players like Firmino and Neary to get on the end of it. And defensively, they are going to press. They're going to make it difficult for Huntsville to build out of the back. We'll see which style reigns true, reigns supreme. This Eastern Conference duel. Noble Okello with an errant pass. Throw incoming for Huntsville. Right. It's off his teammate. Now the ball finds itself out wide. Skinner is closed down. Throw incoming for Huntsville. This is Neary, around one defender. Rodrigo Neary taking his space. Joe Skinner does well to close them down. Throw in coming. Rodrigo Neary, who has spent time in Spain. Valencia Youth Academy, comes from great pedigree. Speaking of pedigree, this ball pops through, but Alan Carlton can't find himself on the end of it. Down under pressure. Ball will just stay in. Throw in coming for Atlanta as Chris Applewhite kept it from being a corner. Chong Ki. What about the long throw in? The ball goes into the box. Applewhite first to it. Mino nods towards Dudley. Morales works all the way back to the former Husky, Jaden Hibbert. Gallardo out wide. In between 2 teammates. The attack fizzles out for Atlanta. Huntsville trying to quickly come the other way. Ethan Dudley steps in front of Forster Ajago. Dudley, a fantastic story. After not making the team during the preseason, was signed due to an injury and earned himself a contract this year. Wasmi, the man who was injured and who he took the place of on the pitch with him to date. And that's another amazing feat. Wasmi was out for about 8 weeks this year. He rehabbed and he's back on the pitch. Jago cannot find Cassius. Keeper Brian Dowd into Applewhite. Talk more about Chris Applewhite as this match goes on. He's somebody that has impressed his new head coach. Chance to run now for Atlanta. Firmino slides to Alan Carlton. On the overlapping run, Chong Ki puts it in the box. And it's pushed away for an Atlanta corner. Transition going to be key today. Huntsville tends to open itself up for transition opportunities with how aggressive they are attacking. That's where Atlanta wants to find the seam. Chong Ki cannot strike that ball well. And then, to make matters worse, slides under Ollie Wright. You see Wright wanting more than just a stoppage of play. Right. Jago back towards right. Can't slip it through. Gallardo tiptoes around his defender. Now Firmino on the touch line. Can't twirl around Akapananu. Carlton switches the point of attack. Gallardo. T.S. Gallardo played some of his youth soccer with River Plate. Talk about the pedigree of some of these players, whether it's been through the academy of Atlanta United, like Alan Carlton, Dominic Chong Qui, or elsewhere. Rodrigo Neri, Nick Firmino. The aforementioned Gallardo. There's a lot of talent with Atlanta. Coach Cook mentioning that he feels like just here lately they've started to get into a rhythm. They have the long stoppages twice this year of 3 weeks or more, which really impacted their ability to kind of build on matches. And although they are very far on the outside looking in, still understands the situation, the opportunity that is presented to them right now. It's a tall task to ask, but they must win. And they need some help. But all they can worry about is what's in their control. 11th minute of action. Firmino on the ball. Zips towards Alan Carlton. Firmino is upended. That will be a free kick. So a chance to put the ball in the box for Alan Carlton or Matias Gallardo. Atlanta with the first free kick of the day. Big targets. Noble Okello, Nick Firmino, Ethan Morales. All standing on the edge, looking for an opportunity. Ball will come central to Javier Armas. Now towards the back post. Firmino can't control as he glided into the air. So you see, unmarked is Nick Firmino, but as he was flying in the air, could not find a way to put the ball back at the edge of the 6. Wright tries to pick out a pass towards Bolaños. Centering ball. Wow! Woobens Passius with a wonderful shot. Huntsville in the lead. Huntsville, in a blink of an eye, goes in front. It starts there with Ollie Wright. A beautiful ball over the top, past the back line, and then Bolaños right towards Woobens Passius, and that's hit on a line, a laser to the top of the goal. And what a wonderful passage of play for Huntsville. They take the lead on the road. Talked about how Huntsville wants to dictate the passages of play and the pace of play, and you see it right there. 2 passes, they break down the entire defense. Ollie Wright is the one that sets it up, and he can pick out a pass anywhere, whether it's his former assistant coach and interim head coach Christopher Berra or Chris O'Neill. They talk so highly about Wright and how dynamic he is when he's in possession. And right there, he started everything from midfield. Bolaños always tends to creep behind the back line, and you wonder how it happens. And in a blink of an eye, Huntsville is in front. Passius now with his 5th goal of the year. Atlanta must answer, finding themselves down. Pinch in the playoff scenarios. They do not completely fall out of playoff contention. They are not eliminated with a loss, but it makes things very difficult. A loss then takes it out of their own hands. Armas switches the point of play towards Sean Kui. And sliding in to send that out of play was William Perkins. Perkins put that off of Chong Hui. Huntsville has the throw in. On the counter press, Atlanta retakes possession. Chong Hui to Carlton. Shouts for a handball. Kawasmi continues play towards Gallardo. Cross comes in. Neary back in front. Returns to Okello. Atlanta trying to answer. Armas controls. Javier Armas shot is blocked away. And then a collision and a foul. Atlanta will have the free kick. Taken quickly. Kawasmi continues his light run. Gallardo works back to Firmino, who was in the best 11 last year in MLS Next Pro. His head coach said he also is a true number 9. Can play that role, but also can play in the 10, play off of other players. Firmino, a Brazilian, has that swagger to his game. He might be called upon here against Huntsville, because when you need a play, you find your playmaker. Bolaños dumps this ball towards Pacius. Kawasmi stays in front, and Pacius having his hands all over Kawasmi. That's going to be a foul. Carlton, a fantastic touch, and keeps the ball in. Now coming central, Alan Carlton continues to carry out to Gallardo. Armas, Okello, and Dowd gets a hand to it. It was a pesky rebound, and Rodrigo Neary could not jump on it. Dowd does just enough. For Gallardo, this ball a little behind Armas, so he does the next best thing and leave it for Okello. Put it on frame, had power behind it, but Brian Dowd answers the call to duty. Forster Jago, his first game back off of injury, scoring twice versus Atlanta. That's what started his fantastic season and what really warranted him getting pushed up to some first team time. Pacius having a similar showing as of late. He signed his first team contract in February, the former CF Montreal Academy product. He has the goal on the day. Perkins in some space. Bolaños, right combined, and Dudley sliding in sends that ball out. So Ollie Wright puts up the X. Comes short. Carlton sniffs it out. Quick throw in. O'Brien. Right towards right. A tap to Bolaños. Bulls in front. And Ijago pointing said that it took a ricochet. This is not what you want to see if you're Atlanta. A ruthless goal scorer with an excellent opportunity. This was the connection for Hijago's first goal with Huntsville back versus Atlanta. And we saw that connection the following week when Huntsville got their first win of the year versus Carolina Court on the road. So Bolaños and Hijago. Hijago have a great awareness where each other are. Bolaños always finds himself behind the back line. Hijago makes that run at perfect times. Hasius is pulled down on the edge of the box, and Huntsville will have a free kick. Kawasmi has two hands on Hasius. You see Hasius doing his best job. He had his hands on the jersey of Kawasmi, so Atlanta's not going to be too happy. But their hope that their unhappiness is short-lived and they can deal with this free kick. O'Brien off the leave from Oliver Wrights. Airmails it out of play. Goal kick coming for Atlanta. As O'Brien got right into it, but he's leaning to his side, can't navigate the ball on frame. But now a bad giveaway. Bolaños brings it down into the box. Bolaños towards Hijago. There's the connection, and there's the second goal for Huntsville. Two goals in a matter of moments for the away side, and Huntsville is out in front. Forster Hijago scores again. This is just off the bad giveaway from your captain, Armas. Don't see that very often, but you say it. Bolaños waiting perfectly. Hijago knows what to do, just finds that open area, and Bolaños is going to pick him out. Now 7 assists on the year for Bolaños, and Hijago now has a team lead, tying team lead with 7 goals. And Huntsville is flying high on the road against Atlanta. We've seen this from times from Atlanta in key moments in key matches. They have struggled. We go back when they put a couple of wins together, an undefeated streak. And then they dropped matches 4-1 to Orlando and 4-1 to Carolina Court. This is what Coach Cook did not want to see. He wanted to see his side rise to the occasion. Right now they are well behind, and Rodrigo Neri is offside. He also talked to us during our call this week and said it does not matter what happens, you just have to win. Situationally this week, that's what they worked on. Being up 2 goals, how do you win that game? Being down 2 goals, how do you win that game? And right now, what they went over situationally when down 2 goals is going to come up big. Neri takes that ball away. 3-on-3. Too hard for Firmino. And then Neri hits the crossbar. So close to jumping back into this match. So first and foremost, Rodrigo Neri takes the ball off the free kick. A bad bounce, and so Neri just turning and shooting and almost found the back of the net. Then Bolaños, who was tracking back defensively, was tackled by Nick Firmino. That's what warrants this free kick. You can tell Atlanta not going to wait to the second half, understand the urgency necessary right now. What does that open up for Huntsville? Talk about the identity that Coach O'Neill shared with us this week. He said he wanted to dominate, wants to control. That's what Huntsville has done today. That identity has been there. Ajago tries to cut it back. Still a ruthless mentality for Huntsville. They lose possession. Firmino a flick towards Alan Carlton, and Carlton is completely upended. That shows his skill, his quality, as he almost worked his way around Sean Davis. But you have to like what you're seeing from Huntsville. They have won 3 of their last 5 outright. Their last match they lost 2-0 to Inter Miami, but their head coach said that he still liked how the team played. Definitely like how they're playing right now, in full control ahead of Atlanta. Bolaños pesky defensively, forcing Carlton to tap the ball out of play. Bad giveaway from Ajago. Okello starts the break. Gallardo returns to Okello. Armas' shot. Brian Dowd is there calmly on the save. Atlanta now forcing Huntsville into some mistakes. Armas set himself up, going for a near post, but Dowd had it covered. This great positioning from Brian Dowd. This is the moment for Atlanta. Can they sneak back into this match with Huntsville dominating possession, dominating control, dictating just how this match has gone? Perkins does well to leap and keep that ball in play. Now the former Irish captain of Notre Dame, Ethan Bryant, goes back. Only right. Akpunanu. Right, a little give to O'Brien, who stepped into some space. One thing we've seen from Huntsville that we hadn't seen with this team prior is just how decisive they are on the ball. Clear ideas. The overarching foundation is just that for Huntsville. Coach O'Neill saying that he wanted this team to have a clear understanding, but also have space to express themselves. And once they were able to latch on to that identity, felt like the team played with a different type of fire, a different type of fury. And that's been very obvious here today. Rare poor ball from Ollie Wright. And Gallardo, who was trying to send the ball forward, was fouled. Conversation being had with Joe Skinner, 21-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina. Former 11th overall draft pick in 2023. Played at Clemson and UNC Greensboro. Will be his last warning. Nearing the 30th minute of action. Huntsville in front of Atlanta. 2 assists from Bolaños. A goal for Forster Ajago and a goal for Rubens Hacias. the difference in this match. Advantage being played. Kowalski towards Gallardo. Firmino plays the 1-2. Gallardo, quick look behind, then taps to Kowalski. That's a corner. Gallardo looping ball in, and Brian Dowd brings it down. This broadcast is presented by Piedmont. Dominic Chanqui steals the rock away into Nick Firmino. He's pushed from behind. Advantage being played. Chanqui with the nutmeg. They like that from the teenager. Another corner coming for Atlanta. Dominic Chanqui, a rising star of match day 18 in MLS Next Pro, had a goal versus Columbus that week. Now a corner in the 31st minute. Outswinger from Gallardo. Okello back towards goal. And Brian Dowd is there. Bolaños to Ajago. Ajago slipping and falling, and Morales will be shown a yellow. Don't think it was for the contact, but might have said something after in disgust of the call. Here it is again. You see Ajago slipping and falling. And then Morales saying something in the direction of the head referee. Morales picked up 2 yellow cards versus Carolina Core in that loss 4-1 in the first half. Has to be careful now. The only thing that can make matters worse here, already down 2 goals, would be to go down a man. Don't want to go down a 3rd goal on this free kick. Ollie Wright stands behind it for Huntsville. Wright whips the ball towards the back post. Carlton heads it away for the clearance. Perkins back into the box, and it will roll out for an Atlanta goal kick. Still leading by 2 goals. You see the pressure being put on by Huntsville. They forced Atlanta into a mistake, which then turned into the 2nd goal. Like some more insurance leading on the road. Hibbert sends this ball away. Pacius. Not enough behind that. He had eyes for Ajago. Gallardo is pushed down by Skinner. And Joe Skinner, who was already out of strikes, now sees yellow. This is just smart by Matias Gallardo. 1, to feel the contact and go down, because there was a slight push from behind, and then to want to play quick, knowing that Skinner wasn't going to want to give up anything quickly, and knowing that Skinner was already someone that had been conversing with the referee. Wow! A mistake made by Hibbert turns into the third goal for Huntsville. Ollie Wright with an assist, and Bolaños with the goal. Trouble in the back turns to trouble on the scoreboard. And things have gone from bad to worse for Atlanta. And what most would consider a must-win match. Ball played back, but not enough pace to get inside. You see Wright, and then here, oh, the back heel was beautiful to set up Bolaños. And Wright just makes plays. And Bolaños now back in the team lead with 8 goals. He's having a fantastic season despite what things have looked like for Huntsville. 8 goals, 7 assists for Bolaños now. And Huntsville is leading by 3 goals in the first half. This broadcast is presented by Gallagher. Dudley fouls Ijago. But if you're Atlanta, you're not going to be very happy with yourselves. The first goal given up in transition, that tends to happen. That could happen to anybody. But the self-inflicted mistakes are the ones that are going to keep you up at night. Bryan into Ijago. Passius puts another one past Jaden Hibbert. 4-0 now. And Huntsville is not looking back. In transition, O'Brien into Ijago, and Passius says, I'm gonna take it, pounces on the ball, and scores his second goal of the day. Now he has 6 goals on the year. And Atlanta with stunned faces right now.
Huntsville City FC goal in the 37th minute, number 28, Rubens Passius.
And this was not what Atlanta was looking for when they stepped on the pitch today. But this was expected from Huntsville. Free kick has to come from a farther area up. This is just speechless performance from Huntsville. They have taken advantage of the mistakes made by Atlanta, and they have been ruthless. And still wanting more here in the first half. Passius, Bolaños sets up right. Just wide of the mark. Huntsville is having fun now. And you could just see how stretched Atlanta is. Bolaños looking for his 3rd assist of the day rather than go for himself. This just looks like a completely different Huntsville side. We talk about it often in MLS Next Pro. You can't look at the record, have to play the opponent. And Coach Cook was honest with us during his coach's call this week, saying that he likes what he's seen from Huntsville recently. Said the results have showcased that they have that quality, but now they're playing with a different type of mentality. Chong-Kui for Atlanta works back to Nick Firmino. Carlton returns to Firmino. Firmino's shot! Stopped by Dowd. This broadcast is presented by Adidas. Under the radar today, Brian Dowd has had a pretty calm afternoon. He's had to make a couple of saves, and that has been the difference. Atlanta has not finished their chances. Huntsville has, and they're still looking for more. Wright once again whips the ball over the top. Bolaños has space to operate. And now, offside is the decision. Carlton continues the run, then shifted down in gears. The pass was for him to be up pace. Firmino assessing his options. Now to Javier Armas. Out wide to Matias Gallardo. Dumping ball in. And Neary can't keep it on frame. That was a broken play that almost turned into something special. Gallardo has all those tricks in his toolbox. As he scooped that ball in, Armas just had to get a boot to it. And Neary could not keep it down. Slicing and dicing. This defense of Atlanta is Huntsville. And Ijago just could not get on the end of that through ball from O'Brien. But you see the quality from Bolaños, Wright, and O'Brien. Ethan O'Brien was a mid-season acquisition. He's added a lot of quality to this lineup. Chong-Kui being held up and tripped by Perkins. No call. Brian behind Okello. And now with the outside of the boot, into the path of Ijago. Hibbert comes up big. Of all the chances, you thought that might have been the best one, the might for sure chance, but Hibbert stops it as he stays locked in despite giving up the 4 goals up to this point. This ball in the middle of the field. Atlanta takes over. 4v4, Firmino, Okello. A shot, takes a deflection, and scores! Atlanta has one back, and they'll take it any way they can get it. Noble Okello shooting, and right off of Chris Applewhite. Dowd had a beat on it, but after the ricochet, it took him the wrong way. And so Atlanta finds a goal before the break. And Noble Okello now has 3 goals on the season.
Atlanta United 2 goal in the 44th minute. 25, Noble Killer Audio.
In the 45th minute, Atlanta down by 3 goals. And this ball over the head of Bolaños. Playoff implications as mentioned, as Ollie Wright taps that off of Dominic Chonqui. With an Atlanta loss, if Crown Legacy, Orlando, and Miami all gain 1 point or more, and Chicago wins, then Atlanta is out. With a win, their hopes are still alive. They don't have to worry about what anyone else does here as we wind down the match day. Fourth official announcing a minimum of 4 minutes of added time. Pacius steps in front of this ball, intended for Gallardo. Pacius. Ball ends up with Ijago. O'Brien is offside. Precious time ticking off. Atlanta trying to restart play. Gallardo has a conversation with the referee. And the restart has to be taken from a little bit farther. Hibbert booms this ball back into play. Kawasmi heads towards Gallardo. And Atlanta will try to create. Dudley. Firmino's tap is sent back, and Bolaños tracks it down for Huntsville. Bolaños into right. The pass too hot to handle. And you can see Ollie Wright with 2 hands on his head, wanted to do better there. Firmino back to Dudley. And Atlanta trying to break out of this counter press, but they lose possession. That's going to be a foul on Javier Armas as he stepped in front of Chris Applewhite. And Huntsville will have a free kick. Akponanu, Joe Skinner. And again, Gallardo just stepping in front, stopping Skinner. And Carlton, great body control, slipping towards Rodrigo Neri. Neri earns a corner. Atlanta trying to pull something out of the hat right now and cut the lead again before halftime. Short corner, Gallardo to Armas. And an errant ball out of play. And that is your halftime whistle. Huntsville scores 4 unanswered to start this match. Nova Okello of Atlanta gains 1 back for the Five Stripes, but in a almost must-win match, Atlanta United has a long way to go. Huntsville trying to set the new foundation. They're building things up brick by brick right now. Our score at half is Atlanta United 1, Huntsville City 4. Now it's time for Michelle Montaigne to recap a busy match week 26 in this week's report.
On to his left and cuts the lead in half. Here's Pino through the middle. Other runners at the back post. What a goal!
For the first time ever, the report goes international. We join you today from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, in the Pacific Northwest. I'm Michelle Montaigne, guys. It's that time of the year where the games mean so much more. There are playoff implications in almost every match. The stars of the season are trying to cement their place in the postseason. So safe to say, there's a lot to be excited about. Today, we're getting you caught up on all things happening around MLS Next Pro, starting with the teams that get a chance to pick their opponents for the 2024 playoffs. North Texas SC became the first team to clinch a playoff berth. They currently sit at the top of the Western Conference standings. The team will be returning to the postseason following a 1-year absence and will look to hold on to first place in the overall standings in hopes of hosting throughout the playoffs. But right behind them is one of the best teams in MLS Next Pro this season, St. Louis City 2. They are just 2 points behind North Texas, but City 2 actually holds the tiebreaker. And it is easy to imagine a packed City Park rocking in St. Louis throughout the playoffs. Now that being said, there are 4 games remaining for every single Western Conference club. As we look at the standings from third place on down, you can see that 3 teams are dead even in points and only 4 points separate the 12th place Monarchs from the 8th and final playoff spot holders, Houston Dynamo Dos. One of the teams in that playoff hunt, the team that trains on this exact pitch, Whitecaps FC2. Vancouver is looking to clinch their first playoff appearance ever, and a big catalyst to their success so far this season has been head coach Ricardo Clark. The MLS great joined the club just at the beginning of last season, but they missed the playoffs last year. He shared with us the biggest lessons he learned from that first season in Vancouver and how it's helped him turn things around this year.
So many different unpredictable factors with the second team. So with all that, you try to, get as organized as you can going into the season, but also just be ready to adapt week to week, but even day to day, right? And integration is something we've sort of tried to evolve within the club and in the second team environment. And with that becomes a lot of unpredictability, right? I say within that, just growing in that role and growing in the development space and managing all that to make sure we're getting the most out of the players, I'd say is an area of growth for me through this year after learning from last year.
Now let's take a look at WFC2's remaining schedule. All their games will pit them against teams contending to make the playoffs. Their next 2 games will be at home versus the Town FC and Tacoma Defiance before they close out the regular season on the road against first the defending champs, Austin FC2, followed up with a game against Dynamo Dos.
A reverse ball, Rochester scores on the volley! Habrun off a slip, it's Taha, Habrun, he scores! As this one's played centrally for Waberi! Back across, it's Calhera, my goodness! Sasak to the area, volley scores!
Well, while we continue our journey through beautiful Vancouver, Whitecaps FC2 continues their push for a playoff spot in the West. Meanwhile, the Eastern Conference playoff picture has a completely gridlocked table right now. With just 4 matches remaining for most of these clubs, not a single one has guaranteed their spot in the postseason. This time last year, 3 clubs already had secured playoff berths. But right now, just 7 points separate spots 1 through 8 in the Eastern Conference table. Meanwhile, for a team on the outside looking in, one made a significant push in keeping their own playoff hopes alive. That team is independent club Chattanooga FC. Despite not having their leading scorer, Mehdi Wamri, available due to suspension, the Boys in Blue snapped Crew 2's 12-game unbeaten streak with a beautiful chipped goal by Jesus Ibarra. CFC is tied with Chicago Fire 2 with 38 points. Chicago currently has the final playoff spot, and head coach Rod Underwood knows it will take everything in order for them to get it.
At this point, we're just trying to pick up points, right? Trying to pick up points, trying to figure out, making sure that we get the points, keep ourselves in the conversation for the playoffs, and that's what we're really working on to do.
As we mentioned, Chattanooga FC snapped Crew 2's 12-game unbeaten streak, which is tied for the longest in MLS Next Pro history. Last year, Colorado Rapids 2 also had a 12-game unbeaten streak in the early part of the season, while Revs 2 accomplished the same feat in the latter part. 4 teams are currently tied for the second longest unbeaten streak with 10 apiece.
Action.
Well, if you don't know, now you know. MLS Next Pro is launching a newsletter. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you sign up for it at mlsnextpro.com/you guessed it, newsletter. It'll keep you updated on all the latest news, such as our August monthly award winners. One team had an amazing month of August. Due to their collective team effort, Carolina Core FC swept nearly all of August's monthly honors. Starting with Team of the Month, since it is a team game after all. Despite a slower start to the season, Core closed out August with 3 straight wins, positioning themselves for a chance at a playoff spot. The contributions of captain Jacob Evans and goal-scoring additions from David Polanco and Joshua Rodriguez have turned the tide in High Point.
It's special for us to have won Team of the Month. The team's been working really hard. We think back to where we started and to where we are now. We've come a long way. We knew it would take time, but I think it's great for the morale of the team, for the morale of the coaches. It means that we're moving in the right direction. We're just going to try to keep pushing forward here and hopefully make a run for the playoffs.
But this turnaround wouldn't be possible without the Player of the Month, Core's Facundo Canete. The versatility of the midfielder, who's played as a center and defensive mid this season, in addition to lining up on the wing, has allowed Core to keep other teams guessing. With his recent run of form, Canete became just the 2nd player in MLS Next Pro history to score a brace in 3 straight matches. Of course, some credit also does have to go to the guy in charge, Roy Lassiter, as he brings home Coach of the Month. After amassing only 2 wins through June 22nd, the fact that the former legendary MLS striker has his team in position to contend in the postseason is nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah, I'm honored, but first and foremost, it's my staff that deserves that. It's a complete staff. I wouldn't claim to accept this award without my staff. I got Amala Guevara, I got Donovan Ricketts, JC Martinez, Andy Williams, even Eddie Pope. I would claim to receive this by myself. These guys work really, really hard. We work together on every single thing that we do. And so they are equally deserving of this award as well.
Core rounds out their recognition with a co-goalkeeper of the month honor being given to Alex Sutton. He shares the Keeper of the Month award with Crew 2's Stas Lapkes. Sutton posted a clean sheet while only allowing 1 goal apiece in the final 2 games of August. Lapkes, meanwhile, made 16 total saves across 3 matches in the month. And last but certainly not least, Owen Anderson was named MLS Next Pro Rising Star of the Month. Anderson added 3 goals in August, including a brace that included 2 goals in 2 minutes in a 2-1 win over Colorado Rapids 2.
But it comes out for a long-range chance. Glides past one. Adam shoots. He torches the threads. As Santos to his left, Chirilla! And Chirilla might have the game winner in the 90th minute! Joyner strides up, and Joyner scores! He went left again!
Eddie Davis cuts back, and his shot hits the back of the net.
I think we can officially call this the year of the rising star. And I know it's early in our rising stars' careers, but maybe one day they'll end up in their own respective Hall of Fames. Names like Eddie Davis and Mekhi Joyner, who are both in the top 5 of the Golden Boot race. Other names like Chase Adams and Stephen Chirilla, who have propelled their respective teams from Ohio to the top of the Eastern Conference standings. And of course, a name we all recognize, Kevin Sullivan, the 14-year-old who's already been named MLS Next All-Star Game MVP. When we look back on this class years down the road, this very well could go down as the best MLS Next Rising Star class in the history of the young league. Now, we just mentioned Joyner and Davis as part of the Golden Boot race, but as it stands now, David Pareba remains at the top with 17 goals on the season. Taylor Caleta and Mehdi Owamri are sandwiched in between Joyner and Davis for the 4th and 5th spots, respectively. From here on out, every match means more. Remember, you can catch them all on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Michelle Montaigne saying so long from Canada. We'll see you again stateside soon.
Toda mi gente lo siente, 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 toda mi gente caliente, toda mi gente lo siente. Toda mi gente suena, en la fadera suena, el techo se me llena, toda mi gente lo siente.
Action.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Bank Stadium in Kennesaw, Georgia, also known as the Proving Ground. Huntsville City proving that they are not a team to be trifled with. They lead 4-1 on top of the home side Atlanta United. And this has been a match that had high necessity for the Five Stripes. They want to stay in the playoff race, but as we take a look at these first half highlights, Huntsville came to play even though they are out of playoff contention. And this is how things got started. Ollie Wright can pick out a ball with the best of them. Johnny Bolaños, who leads the team in assists, adds to his tally. Woobens Passius with a powerful shot. Nothing that Hibbert could do about it. And this is when Atlanta started to make their own mistakes, and Huntsville took advantage of it. Bolaños already with 1 assist to his tally, finds his favorite target, Forster Aijago, for his goal on the day. Then here, this is really one that makes you scratch your head for Atlanta, but Ollie Wright with the beautiful back heel, setting up Bolaños, who now has a goal and 2 assists on the day. And then to make matters worse, in transition, Ethan O'Brien and Woobens Passius ends up with another shot, and Huntsville has been ruthless on the day. Atlanta just trying to find some type of avenue back into this match. Noble Okello with a long-range shot, takes a deflection and hits the back of the net. And Atlanta finds itself down by 3 goals. You see the statistics from the first half. Both sides with the same amount of shots and the same amount of shots on target. The only difference was that Brian Dowd made 4 saves in that first half. And that was major. He was in the right place at the right time. Jaden Hibbert made a key save with Forster Ayago free. That would have made it 5 goals for Huntsville, but just the 4 for the away side. And Atlanta now needing 3 goals to salvage something from this match, 4 goals to complete a miraculous comeback and keep their foot on the pedal to potentially make a push towards the playoffs. As we can see, Kareem Tamimi is on the pitch. Tamimi is the team's leading goal scorer. He stands right by Alan Carlton. So Tamimi has come on for Atlanta to try to continue the late spark that was struck at the end of the first half. Whistle blows and we begin the second half between Huntsville and Atlanta. The substitution, Kareem Tamimi coming on for Nick Firmino.
Substitutions for your Atlanta United 2. Exiting the match number 30, Nick Firmino. Entering the match number 99, Kareem Tamimi. Also exiting the match number 43, Rodrigo Neri. Entering the match number 25, Luke Brennan.
Kawasmi looking to pick this up. Gashardo, a little touch towards Kawasmi. Gashardo receives it back. Rodrigo Neri has come out, and Luke Brennan on the ball now has come in. Brennan, heavy ball across. Dominic Chonqui will track it down. Chonqui back into the area. Now we see the substitutions for Huntsville. Patrick Yazbek comes on for Sean Davis. And then Jonathan Perez comes on for Forster Ayago. Yazbek tries to keep the ball in, but runs out of real estate as he's followed by Javier Armas. Set the tone for this second half. Huntsville out of playoff contention, but looking to make it 4 wins in their last 6 matches after new head coach Chris O'Neill was announced before their match versus Chattanooga. They won 3 straight and then dropped their last 2. Are looking very good right now for Atlanta. With the loss today, they aren't eliminated. But if Crown Legacy, Orlando, and Miami both pick up a point and Chicago picks up 3 points, then they will be if they were to lose. That's why a win is so important. Kawasmi receives the scoop from Armas. Nice ball into Brennan. Luke Brennan shot. The rebound is hit home. Kareem Tamimi comes off the bench and immediately makes an impact. And Tamimi now with 9 goals on the year. And the 2 substitutes spark something in the second half. You see Brennan squeaks past and then After Dowd got a hand on the first shot, Tamimi, just like a number 9 should, be right around the ball and put it in the back of the net. Ball lost to Armas. Coach Cook talked about it with us this week. It does not matter what the situation is. Right now, we just have to win. They went down 4-0 in this match. Looking for another goal. Brennan. And that's going to go off of Huntsville. It looked like it just went off of Brennan's back leg, but Atlanta is going to be happy that they have a set piece, as they've already scored a goal within 5 minutes of the second half. And a quick goal here makes this very interesting. The fans behind the home side. Gallardo to take the corner. Into the box. Tamimi has it down. It's still free for the moment. And now Huntsville carries it out and clears it away. Trying to start the break. Ollie Wright tries to go around Chong Kui, and he's not going to be happy with the result. Atlanta back on the prowl. This is Brennan, the first teamer, trying to go around William Perkins, but Perkins stays step for step with him, and Carlton on the counter press hits it out. Luke Brennan has really great twitch to his game. Sneaky quick and has all the moves. Right there, Ethan Dudley holding on to Rubens Pacius. Another restart coming for Huntsville. And coaches often talk about moments in matches. This is one for Huntsville. Although they looked pristine in the first half, Atlanta has some momentum to start the second. But Huntsville wants to close the door. Bolaños, Skinner, Wright turns it over, but retakes possession. Now Bolaños, plenty of space. Skinner still with it. And that ends up going off of Skinner. Ephraim Morales does well defensively in tight quarters. And in the first half, it seemed like a footnote. Jaden Hibbert made a humongous save on a wide open Forster Ajago. Kept the match from being 5-0. Atlanta got one goal back at the end of the first half by Noble Okello. And then just scored here to start the second half. Rubens Pacius holding on to Morales. And Pacius will receive a yellow card. For Coach O'Neill, doesn't want anything to help the cause of Atlanta. Have to see how much longer Pacius is on the pitch. Ephraim Morales, the only man for Atlanta that's on a yellow card right now. We'll have to see how Atlanta adjusts. This ball comes over the top. Chong Kui can't keep it in. The back line is Chong Kui. Dudley at center back. Morales at center back. And on the right side, Kawasmi. Chong Kui tends to get up the left side and really get into the fold offensively to give Atlanta the numbers advantage there. Huntsville has been keen on the counter. As Ball over the top of Bolaños, so Kawasmi tracks it down and goes back to his goalkeeper, Hibbert. Jaden Hibbert went on loan in the second tier this year, came back, and his head coach said he was a completely different goalkeeper. Got more minutes, got more time, and got the experience necessary. And he's been playing with confidence. Chong Kui just gets to this on the touchline. Perkins in front of him. Now Armas. Dummy played. Kawasmi pointing where he wants Brennan to set up. Skinner stabs at that. 2 balls on the pitch. Now the ball's into Okello. Tamimi. Run was there by Carlton, but now Kareem Tamimi takes a shot for himself. That's good action there by Atlanta. This broadcast is presented by Piedmont. Atlanta United has scored goals in the final 5 minutes of the first half and in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Huntsville scored 4 unanswered to start the match. Rubens Pacius has a brace. Bolaños has a goal, and Forster Ajago, who played just the first half, also has a goal. Javier Armas' shot is blocked away by Dowd, who now has 5 saves. Brennan is just pushed down. And Huntsville is going to look to break. Right, well-weighted ball. Perez, and he is stonewalled by Jaden Hibbert. Perez in stride. Chong Kui with the recovery run just to cut down the angle, and Hibbert was there at the near post. Although Huntsville is in front, these are tense moments for the away side. Wright with an out swinger, and Morales first one there. Ball bouncing around, and now Gallardo can't continue the counter. Armas hammers this away. And so Dowd sends the ball back. And a little shove. Mobile Okello is the man that had the shove. Alan Carlton was not pleased, and he goes into the book. That's that feistiness that Coach Cook was talking about. You see Okello with a bit of a shove, and then Carlton, who is walking right towards the referee, was not out of earshot. He'll go into the book for the same thing his teammate Ethan Morales did. Dissent. Perkins trying to get around Chong Kui, and that's a foul on William Perkins. Chong Kui again, step for step, and he's showing some fire. Kawasmi, not a player that usually gets forward. It's usually Chong Kui who joins the attack. Really turns into a 3-man back line. Tamimi sends the ball forward. Brennan doesn't continue the run. And now Atlanta will have a chance to step up defensively. Nearing an hour played. The time ticking on Atlanta's playoff chances. Dowd away from the danger. Throw in coming for Atlanta. Brennan holding up Kawasmi. Brennan's early ball headed away by Skinner. Luke Brennan offside. Kawasmi with a wonderful ball into Tamimi, who finds Gallardo. Central to Alan Carlton. Wide to Chongqui. You can see the disgust on Tamimi, Carlton, and Brennan. Chongqui deciding to shoot from distance with 3 runners in the box, and Carlton also arriving. And that's where the youth comes into play, situational awareness and knowing what's necessary. You like the confidence from Chongqui. But the better decision might have been to put the ball up in the box for the runners. Morales showcases some strength, and he'll earn himself a free kick. Quickly taken. Ball lost. Brennan looking to attack Skinner, gives to Gallardo. And now Wright goes around Okello. Perez pursuing. Passius around, and Hibbert stands tall once again. Rubens Passius, who's looking for the hat trick. He went around Efren Morales, and Jaden Hibbert, again in good position, made himself big and did not allow for another goal to notch the scoreboard. Joe Skinner, who's sitting on a yellow card, will come out. Julian Gaines preparing to come on. Now Dominic Gasso also will come onto the pitch. O'Brien coming off. Out-swinging ball. Morales is the first one to it. Bolaños tries to take the shot. It's stopped by Gallardo, and Gallardo is pushed down. Perkins was the man that was there. Perkins is also grabbing at his leg now. Right back over the top. You could tell what Matias Gallardo was trying to do. Perkins was the last line of defense. Not a lot of contact, and definitely not enough to warrant anything more than what transpired, which was the play on. But these are nervy moments. Now Tamimi turns. Tamimi still with it. Brennan You can tell he's a bit upset with Tamimi having a chance to turn and shoot. And then Brennan just trying to put the ball back into a dangerous area as he was standing on the edge of the 6. But what was in full control in regards to the pace of play in the first half, Huntsville now losing that momentum. Gallardo sends this ball towards the back post. Okela brings it down. Tamimi still there, and Tamimi's shot is blocked. How many chances is Atlanta going to have to cut this lead? Gallardo into the box. Tamimi a flick past the back post. And this match is trending towards the edge of madness as it feels like Atlanta is about to find a third goal. They've been so close on a couple of occasions. Huntsville has made some subs. Some of them defensive. We saw Dominic Gassos come on. Passius can't make his way around Dudley. But Atlanta turns the ball over. Gasso returns to Bolaños. Right whips towards Bolaños. Now Perkins. Right. Just trying to take the air out of the ball now as Huntsville. Right. Brennan being held on by Bolaños. And that will be a yellow card to Jonathan Bolaños as the bookings starting to rack up a bit. You see here just a hold of the shoulder, impeding the progress of Brennan. And that's why Bolaños goes into the book. Uvens Passius on a yellow, as well as Bolaños now. Tamimi trying to control and does. Into Alan Carlton. Works back to Javier Armas. Tamimi, offside. Now Dominic Gasso and and Kareem Tamimi will have a conversation with the referee. Joseph Akapunanu restarts things for Huntsville. Dow does the right thing, sends the ball away. Ollie Wright trying to split the defense. Ethan Dudley tracks the ball well. Wright, another beautiful ball. Perez gliding, cuts the ball back. Bolaños was the intended target. And Perez was offside. Brennan. Heavy ball. And it's off Gallardo.
Huntsville City FC substitution here in the 70th minute.
Huntsville will make a sub. William Perkins comes off, was showing signs of fatigue. He was grabbing at his legs, so Joel Sangwa will come on. Sangwa, former back-to-back NJCAA champion at Iowa Western, then played 2 years at Akron, the second team All-MAC. Counter press. Atlanta almost wins the ball back. Pasius bumps the ball over the top, and Chong Kui, wonderful skill. Chong Kui can't slalom through 2 defenders. Relentless pursuit by Kareem Tamimi. Now Chris Applewhite to Dowd. Yazbek racing forward. Pasius, wonderfully done! But Hibbert answers the call once again. Julian Gaines almost had the capper as Pasius, a little tap. And Gaines could not get it towards the back post. You have to credit Ethan Dudley there for not giving up on the play and making that more difficult for Julian Gaines. But that could have put things to rest. Still a heartbeat for Atlanta. Sangwa steps in front of Brennan, slowing his pace. Armas into Carlton. Ollie Wright. This ball's over the top, and Dowd will get to it. They're saying Brennan was offside. This broadcast is presented by Gallagher. Steve Cook talking with the assistant referee just to get an explanation. Tough part about this match for Atlanta is 2 goals were on self-inflicted wounds. The second and third goal were due to miscues. One, a misplay by Javier Armas, right to Jonathan Bolaños on the edge of the box, turned into a goal. The other on a free kick restart back to the goalkeeper. All can be forgiven if they can find a way back. Brennan held up by Ollie Wright, and that's going to be a free kick as Wright now walking gingerly. '74th minute. Big moment here. Gallardo centers the ball to Armas. Still free. Ball still dribbling around. Tamimi is called for the foul. He can't believe it. So as the ball came to Armas, his intended target was Noble Okello. And then as the ball was still bouncing around, when Tamimi went down to ground, Bolaños was the one that was in danger, and so Tamimi is called for the foul. Tamimi arguing that he had a right to the ball.
Atlanta United 2 substitutions in the 75th minute. Exiting the match number 36, Ramsey Kowalski. Entering the match number 62, Ashton Gordon.
Ashton Gordon has come on. Header right there for Ramsey Kowalski, an offensive substitution.
Entering the match number 49, Matt DeJaney.
And Matt DeJaney has come on. Another offensive substitution. Perez is in the box. This ball hits the post. And Atlanta still alive thanks to the woodwork. Brennan, a nice little touch around and stays on the ball. Does so well to keep possession. Brennan sticking with it, sends down the line. Ashton Gordon on the prowl. Towards Tamimi, the header right at Brian Dowd. Tamimi with so much open space. Gordon scooped it up, and Tamimi just could not nod it past Dowd. You could just sense it. Atlanta understands the moment, understands the urgency necessary, knows they've dug themselves in a deep hole, and they've had chances to dig out. Just have not finished off those opportunities. Perez. And Hibbert, another diving save. After giving up 4 goals in the first half, has kept things clean in the second half and given his side a chance. Huntsville in no rush now. Right, another good ball will bounce and roll out of the box. Yazbek. Bolaños tries to return the favor, but Chong Kui slows him down. And Atlanta restarts things. Ashton Gordon is just brought down. And that will be a yellow card on Julian Gaines, no doubt. I asked Coach Cook about Ashton Gordon, and he said that as a young player, sometimes when you get a contract, you think you're required to get minutes, that it's deserved. And in this organization, everything is earned, and Ashton Gordon has earned his time on the pitch, scoring recently his first career goal, and he's earned his time to play. Coach Cook putting him in a big moment right now. Already had a near assist to Kareem Tamimi, and right there forces the yellow card on Gaines with his activity. Luke Brennan, ball towards the back post again. And Chong Kui can't track it down. Will be a deep throw in for Huntsville, however. Gaines trying to go around Okello, and it's going to stay Huntsville's ball. Okello steps in front. Wright had a hold of him. Chong Kui does well to win possession back, but again, this tug of war on the touchline, and Huntsville pulling more towards their side right now. They have possession for a third time. Gaines back to Akpananu. Sends the ball away over the head of everyone except for that man, Ethan Dudley, the former Northwestern Wildcat. Now to the homegrown Ephraim Morales. Dejani, the teenager. Brennan around Sangwa. And Dejani can't connect with Alan Carlton as the attack fizzles out and time starts to dwindle. Just 9+ stoppage as Armas races in. Now to Tamimi. Okello. Brennan. Gordon! Ashton Gordon rips the cords, and it's just a 1-goal game here in Kennesaw. The teenager pops up in the right place. Brennan with a wonderful ball towards the back post, and Ashton Gordon makes no mistake. What a match we have here, and still 8 minutes plus stoppage time for more drama. Atlanta was down 4-0 in the first half. And now we're down by just one. Bolaños, a back heel. Morales to the pitch, but the ball returns to Bolaños. And Jonathan Bolaños off of no one. Looked like it might have gone off of Javier Armas, but now Atlanta is back in possession, trying to finish the climb to the top of Mount Everest and get back into this match completely. Carlton well forward. Brennan shifts down as Atlanta will set up to defend. Dejani first header. Sangwa tries to control and he'll clear away. Armas back to his goalkeeper. I wonder what Steve Cook said at halftime, because his team has come out inspired here in the second half. Ashton Gordon will continue his run. Julian Gaines slips. Gordon back towards Tamimi. And now Huntsville is walking a tightrope defensively. Atlanta trying to break the door down. Luke Brennan on the ball. Brennan ends up on the pitch. Now Passius out wide to Perez. And Perez trying to go around Dudley, but Dudley takes him off the ball. Gordon returns the favor and gives it back to Huntsville. Now Jonathan Perez is out wide, attacking Morales, who's on a yellow. Perez right around to Bolaños against the teenager, but Huntsville understanding possession is most important right now. Yazbek. Akpananu. Now Perez again. Dials up the shot. And that might do it. Jonathan Perez, the substitute, taking the hearts of the home side, and Huntsville leads 5-3. Perez just finding the space. Hibbert has done his best all day, but could not stop that one. You have to credit Atlanta for the fight that they've shown in this match. But 4 goals is an almost insurmountable distance. And right now, with 5 minutes and change, now need 2. They've shown they can score 3 on the day. How many more rabbits do they have in that hat? Armas towards Brennan. And Brennan can't keep possession at the end line. Now Ubens Passius. Passius goes down, and that will be a penalty. Ephraim Morales sliding, just trying to stop him. But Morales could not. And Passius, who already has 2 goals on the day, will place the ball at the spot. Hibbert, the man in between the pipes. Ubens Passius already with 2 goals today. True from the spot. That's 3, and that's a hat trick for Ubens Passius. And the door completely shut. What a match here in Kennesaw, Georgia. Atlanta restarts things, now down by 3 goals. Alan Carlton comes out for Landon Zuniga. Ubens Passius with 3 goals, now has 7 on the year after coming into today with just 4. Forster Ajago, who has a goal on the day, has the team lead with 8. Excuse me. Jonathan Bolaños came in with 7. He had a goal on the day. He now has 8. Passius and Ajago both have 7. And this has been a thrilling matchup. We told you at the beginning of the match there would be goals. Did not know 9 was on the docket. And still with time left, might be more. Tamimi can't step around Akpunanu. Brennan right into Tamimi. Throw-in coming for Atlanta. We're in the 90th minute. This broadcast is presented by Adidas. Dejani puts this ball into the box, a flick by Brennan. Akpananu clears it away to Ethan Dudley. All back towards the box. Bolaños brings it down. Ollie Wright and Bolaños play pass. Atlanta takes the ball back. And although it might not be a W, Atlanta has shown great grit in this match. So much fight. The fourth official announcing a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time in the second half. Talk glowingly about Atlanta despite the scoreline. Have to also give extreme credit to Coach O'Neill and Huntsville City. I asked him when I talked to him this week about getting a chance here with 9 or so matches remaining in the year and what that can do for next season, understanding they're already out of playoff contention. They've been eliminated from making the playoffs, but it's not just about this year. Ashton Gordon cuts this ball back. Nobody home for Atlanta. Ollie Wright goes over the top looking for Rubens Pacius. It's brought down by Javier Armas, but Coach O'Neill was honest about what this could do for this team. There's been so much turnover and a lot of changes, but knows that what's happening now is only going to benefit this team moving forward. And he said that he wanted to see what players would take advantage of opportunities, because that's also a part of being a professional. When your livelihood is wins and losses, how do you react and respond when the chips are down and when things aren't going your way? That actually shows more about you than when you're winning. And we've seen exactly that from Huntsville over these past 6 matches. After facing some adversity the past 2, dropping 2 matches after winning 3 in a row under O'Neill, they've come to Atlanta and they've thrown 6 up on the board. Rubens Pacius with a hat trick, Forster Ajago and Jonathan Bolaños, the usual suspects, also scoring. Dejani sends this into the box for Atlanta. And then Sangwa a miscue, so Brennan is on the ball. Brennan cannot go past Joel Sangwa. Throw-in coming for Atlanta. Armah switches play towards Sean Kui. And it's headed out by Julian Gaines. Sean Kui in towards the box. Gaines heads it down. Patrick Yazbek ends up with it as he works on Zuniga. Now a foul on Atlanta as we turn into the 4th minute of our minimum of 5. Gaines holding at his right leg. He will walk his little knock off. Grind out, boots it away. John Quee keeps it in play. Bolaños won't be able to get to that. Next up for Atlanta, teams also in the playoff race, Crown Legacy and Miami, and they end with Philadelphia. Huntsville comes into Kennesaw, Georgia, and leaves victorious. 6 goals on the board, a hat trick for Wubens Pacius. Forster Aijago and Jonathan Bolaños also scores. And that is your man of the match right there. Wubens Pacius is today's man of the match for Huntsville City and is presented by Adidas. Got the scoring started and did not look back. Had 2 goals in the first and a goal from the spot in the second after being fouled here by Ephraim Morales. Just an excellent day for Huntsville. They were dynamic in attack, especially in transition. And they're gonna leave it victorious now with 4 wins in their last 6 matches. Thank you so much for tuning in this Sunday to this thrilling matchup in MLS Next Pro. The final, Atlanta 3, Huntsville 6. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com with my entire fantastic MLS Next Pro broadcast crew. My name is James Hadnot saying so long from Kennesaw, Georgia, and have a blessed evening.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.